As an adult, you need to get this, okay? When it comes to friendship, no one comes into your life without some sort of agenda, or without some sort of benefit, okay? It doesn't matter how innocent the friendship feels like, and most of the time, it's not with a malicious intent as this is, as also I'm explaining this situation. But friendships, you need to learn that it's like the fantasy you have been told, or I don't know why people pick this up from. I think like from movies and stuff, we tend to have like the expectation of friendship that it's you meet each other from kindergarten and people stay the same and your friendship looks the same throughout your whole life or something. No, that is like only in kindergarten the truth, okay? As you grow older, the friendships you build with people are, of course, you can build them genuine. But I am meaning to say is that don't think that not one or the other party, like friendship of two people, that one is not benefiting from the other, and it's not in a malicious intent as well, and it as it should. Actually, in a healthy friendship, it looks like both people benefiting like in a healthy way from each other. Most people who come into your life or who are still friends with you, are still friends with you because there's some sort of benefit. I know it's nice to think that people are friends with you or people like you just for who you are, which is part of course, a healthy dynamic, but there's also this bad part that people don't like to admit, but it's basically a part of how humans work, is that our friends, we love them for who they are. Plus, they are also a good friend of us, or we are friends with people and we attract people because one, maybe you are a good listener or someone is attractive. Let's be honest. It may sound shallow. I know this sounds so shallow, but you need real self reflection to admit that you're doing this, because in psychology, I learned this in school. There's something called the halo effect. You know, people who look attractive by society standards are usually seen as more trustworthy when it comes to friendship context, so that's why in advertisements or like recruitment, and also like in clubs, they put out people who are attractive to recruit more people into whatever agenda or thing they're selling, because it works. When a human mind sees an attractive face, a face that is, we're not talking about supermodels here. We're talking about just straight teeth, um, someone that looks kept, washed hair, whatever. It is part of the halo effect, and it makes people like you more. Okay, that's a psychology tip. But we're talking about friendship. Yes, this principle also applies in friendships. That's why I'm saying that when you could be having friends, or you're unconsciously friends with people because they're conventionally attractive. It's not like you're about to fall in love with a person, but it's more in a sense of like, yeah, um it looks good. It looks good. this, this sounds so strange. I don't know if I'm posing this. Okay. But yeah, the conclusion is, when you are growing up and you're an adult, I actually recommend watching the movie Clueless. Clueless is a chick flick, and chick flicks need way more credit than what they are known for. There are movies for like teen girls or like women, young women, but there are great moral lessons in chick flicks. I like the movie Clueless a lot because it teaches you about perception, about self realization, about how shallow we think our standards, what our standards are as a person. In the beginning of the movie, at the first time I was clueless about the movie Clueless. I was like, what is even the moral story behind this? But as I watched essays and I watched the movie like 3 times, more than 3 times at this point, I get why it's popular and I get the lesson. Like at some point, you see yourself in Cher, going through high school, especially as a girl at the time. Um, you think you see the social hierarchy that has been put out, and you comply by that social hierarchy, and you think you are so self-aware and you are so confident, and you see that as in like the people you attract, how popular you are, the relationships you think you want, but it's all here. It's not really, you're not deep enough in your own self reflection of who you are, what you want, and the place you are. But high school is just the perfect place for this to actually happen because it's so based on popularity, it's based on insecure teenagers, their priorities in life, that you actually are or either complying with like just that level of social hierarchy in high school, or you are ready, start developing yourself, start self-reflecting. And that's what Cher did in Clueless, when she tried to make another girl popular, and what she wanted to have that girl comply in her friend group, in her what she knows is normal, is the norm at high school. um but come to find out, that same girl is actually more popular than her. And it has a lot to do with like what are you doing this for, and what parts of yourself were real and what parts of yourself were so superficial where you thought like, copy paste, and you're yeah, you're that girl. But yeah, I recommend watching the film Clueless, about friendships, about social hierarchies, about how especially like yeah, human society psychology, in what woman to woman friendships work. um Very interesting stuff. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say today. Let me know what you think, and bye bye.